I'm gonna make a video about teachers that I had in high school. How I feel about high school too, and just school in general, kind of thing. And just I want to talk about this specific teacher and I was really mad, and I'm still really mad. Just like that day that I was really mad after she told me something. I just wrote it down. Like I wrote down how I felt because what I do, I write down whenever I'm pissed, and that's always been a way for me to like let out my anger. So it's just saying that to teachers, I do believe teachers deserve a lot more appreciation. They deserve more respect, and they should be put up in higher pedestals than they are, if any pedestal. But at the same time, teachers need to realize the power they hold in each and one of their students. Realize that we notice when you look at someone and believe that they will accomplish great things in life. We notice when you look at others in very little faith. We realize when you skim through our papers and don't bother to even read them. We understand your sarcasm to the response in our comments. We have the same interactive time with we have the same interactive time with you that we do with our parents. I had teachers to push me far, and I realized that I was noticed, that I didn't just fall in the background, and then I did. And I got to see the classroom with different eyes. I learned you don't just need to be smart, you need to look smart. I learned that some teachers are still stuck in high school and only really talk to the well known kids. But you know what sparked this? It was from last week. I'm not saying some of it wasn't true, but I will say it wasn't any more encouraging. And I can see how students fall back because not everyone can brush off comments so fast. One of my teachers, yes, I realized my paper was late. You didn't have to take it. That's all you had to do. But then you asked, are you even graduating? And I said I would. It was me being irresponsible, I agree. But then you asked me how would I ever even make it in college, or if I'm even going to college. And in my head, I thought that I was gonna work hard and that maybe my state of mind wasn't right in high school, but that for my whole life, all I wanted was to get an education because there is nothing I love more, and that maybe I look at and maybe I took it for granted sometimes. But you had no right to make the comments that you did. And it still lingers in my head at night when I feel like I'm not good or smart enough. Teachers, when you take this job, realize that you kind of will be our parents, that you will be our role models, and you will also be the voice inside our heads. That whether we realize it or not, you are shaping us. And thank you to the teachers that noticed everyone and gave everyone a fair chance. That's what I wrote when I was really angry. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to talk about the teachers that I had in high school. Uh, in middle school, I had an awesome time. I thought like everyone was like super sweet to us, and they were all like, "You can do this, Kimberly. You can do anything you want." Super encouraging, just like my parents are. And I had this one teacher who really, really I loved, and I wish I could remember her name, but I know like you have a favorite teacher and you don't remember her name, but I only had her for a couple of months, but she definitely had a huge impact in who I am and how I believed in myself. She was my fifth grade teacher, and she had just graduated from Cornell University, an Ivy League school, and I was in fifth grade. I was like 10 years old, and, like still dreaming, whatever. And she really liked me, and then she like put like she like took me, only me, and put me in a chair next to a computer while the whole class was doing work. And she told me, go on this website, right? and she took me to the Cornell website, and then she told me, she was like, just look through it, and I was like, okay. And I was looking through it, and she was telling me about the school. Like, I remember I was getting so excited because she told me that the library was amazing and huge, and you could study there for hours, and you could borrow any book you wanted, and it was beautiful, and you dorm. The only thing she had to pay was for her food or whatever, and she like really encouraged me so much. And looking back on it, I love teachers that did that, that encouraged me so much, that made me believe in. But looking back on it now, she only took me to look at that Cornell website, and I loved her. I loved her so much. But that had a huge impact on the way I was, right? But she didn't do that to the other kids. She didn't set them down and told them to look through websites of universities, of really good schools at a young age. And I realized that that's how everyone is shaped differently too, because we're not stupid. Even when we're little, we notice everything. We realize like when our teachers don't like us, or they don't believe in us, or think we're dumb, and things like that. Like you always see like these posts of kids saying, "When I was younger, this teacher told me to do this and do that, and that's why I want to do that." And teachers do have a huge impact on the way you are and what you want to do. And she encouraged me, but at the same time, she was leaving out the everyone else in the class. She didn't tell them anything. I never got to look through Cornell's website, and maybe if they had, maybe they would have loved it, and then that would have changed them, and they would have been in a good school like that. I did pretty good my freshman year, but I was still like a quiet kid in the background. Like the teachers didn't really pay attention to me. And I think in high school is that to be noticed, you do have to be outspoken, and I was not outspoken. And so I just kind of fell in the background all the time. And I'm not gonna lie, I always felt like the teachers thought I was dumb. And when other people think you're not gonna make it very far, you start to think like you're not. We're gonna do the brother sister tag. When teachers, your parents, your friends, or whatever tell you you're gonna make it so far, you're gonna accomplish big things, you start to believe it, and you start to act upon whatever other people believe in for you to do. But if people are constantly telling you you're a failure, you're not gonna get to college, how are you gonna even make it to college, you're so stupid, then you're gonna start doing things that are gonna lead you to not go to college. It's a mental thing, right? And so teachers also have power over us and the way we think. We spend so much time with you. Sometimes, like, I think you guys are awesome. Most of you. You deserve a lot of respect and get paid more than what you get paid for. But at the same time, you should like realize that you should encourage all your students equally, and that I'm sure it's not all your responsibility to constantly be on top of a kid, but at the same time, I hate all these labels of like who's the smartest in the class and who's the teacher's favorite in the class. I hate that. Or like in the yearbook, every time you graduate, these stupid tags of high school. Who's gonna make it the farthest? Who's gonna get famous? Who's gonna accomplish the greatest things? And it's like, F everyone else. It's only this person or this whole class that we see potential in. That builds that person's self-esteem, but it lowers down everyone else's. And you have this since like what, middle school, where you start to categorize kids by smart, dumb,